it's my mind is always racing, and so she's seen me depressed, she's seen me happy, my highs, my lows, and everything. And my wife helps me with my social media, and so I don't force them to do anything for me right now because it's not needed. But certain tasks, I ask them for advice. What do you think of this? And so I don't put nothing on them right now because I want them to want to work with Inari and not feel like, hey, this is his dream, but he's pushing it down on us. When it comes to my son, people like, Daddy, I'm in art class. I'm trying to design something. Take a look at it, and then I take a look at it. It was like, all right, this is pretty dope. Let's change this though, and we'll send it to the graphic designer and get it pressed up.
So yeah, this is my book. It's out. I had my book launch. It was super beautiful, successful. Yeah, the energy was super dope. Like me coming from a space of being emotionally numb, emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
And now exploring what this energy emotion is and where these things come from. Like I said in my book release, where does the anger come from? Where does it stem from?
Yeah.
What's the root of it? You know.
What's up? How you doing today? Well, anyway, I stopped you because I see that you went to the original people in the ENARI jeans, and I like that dress, man. I was wondering if you would like to be a model. You know, I like how you standing still. You want a model for us? Hello? Anyway, man, that same stone face, no talking pose, I need you to keep that same energy. Check out my card, man, and I would love to have you on the team. Woo.
Peace, family. Welcome to another edition of the Lead Your Lineage podcast. You are the #1 podcast for individuals seeking to end generational dysfunction. What's good, cuz?
I'm feeling good, man.
My man.
We got a special guest, but let me
Yes,
make
sir.
a comment real quick, man. It's
What?
the first
Here
time
you
I
go.
get to
We ain't even
see
20
myself.
seconds in.
Hey, I get to see
Here you
myself
go.
in this mug. I'm feeling good in this mug, man. You know what I mean? We got two clothing lines, two melanated clothing lines
Absolutely.
representing today, man. You know what I mean? We got my brother Kevin Jones. You know what I mean? Representing the ENARI jeans.
Right on,
You know
right
what I
on.
mean? And then, you know, we got the original people, man. You know how it is. It's all love, man.
And we got the Lead Your Lineage hoodie, too.
It
ain't a clothing, y'all saying. We got that, too. We got, but y'all doing y'all thing now. I just got a hoodie on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Man, y'all won't believe it, man. We got another one, man. We got another great one, man. And this time, I think this is our second time we done did this. We done brought family members into the podcast back to back. Because, man, today we just figured out, man, because she was like, oh, you know, you should, do my brother, people always saying brother. So, he's like, nah, bro, he came in, I'm looking at him, I'm like, damn, bro, that's for real, your sister.
Absolutely.
So, we had Kenyata on there last time, so now we got her brother, Kevin Jones,
right on.
the owner of ENARI jeans. ENARI jeans, brother. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling well. I greatly appreciate this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Seeing y'all work, and it's something that I definitely needed to be a part of. But thank you for having my sister as well as myself on here. I love the setup, man, and the energy is great.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sincerely.
Thank you. Yeah, tell the people who you are. I mean, who are you? Who's Kevin Jones?
Man, that's a great question. That's a great question. I wasn't even ready for that one.
We jumping right into that thing.
But honestly, first and foremost, a husband, a father, big brother, uncle, cousin, and creative that just loves to indulge in art. Mm-hmm. And when I mean art, my clothing line, and that's what I really focus on, my family and the brand. And so to sum it all up, cool Kev, just a cool cat trying to make it in this world. That's basically it. Nothing super complex or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you said putting your art to work. How long have you been? How long has the ENARI jeans been on?
4 years. Mm-hmm. Honestly, the death of Kobe is the reason why I made this transition into, becoming a fashion designer or a brand owner or whatnot, because the death of Kobe just hit us and unexpectedly. And I just wanted to leave a legacy like how he has.
Yeah.
And so you want to leave something for your family to build on. And that's what Inari really came from.
Yeah, man. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I reached out to you, like I said, off camera, man. I'm saying this on camera. I reached out to you because everybody knows the type of person I am who follow this, but for those who don't, I support all melanated business.
Yeah.
However, podcasts and clothing lines, I even try to go extra mile because I know y'all. I know what it goes through. I feel y'all, and I'm tired of people trying to compete. And I want us to know that together we'll win because together is how you build a community. At the end of the day, man, people don't know this. From the politics, from Republicans to Democrats to Verizon Wireless to Sprint to Gucci to Louis, they all eat at the same damn table.
Come on now.
And they give each other advice and say, how we gonna win? And then what they do is they compete. A lot of people don't know this. This is a real business strategy. You can look this shit up. They would compete with each other on purpose to give each other that publicity.
Yeah.
It's the whole game.
Yeah.
But our problem is we playing crabs in a bucket and saying, fuck it, we can tip this bucket over.
Yeah.
And fuck that, we're not even crabs in the bucket. The problem is we diamonds in the rough, and we think we crabs in the bucket.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Diamonds in the rough, who thinks we crabs in the bucket. So that's for another way, man. So I just want to give you a applaud. I really like your designs.
Thank you.
Where can they get your clothing on that?
www.enarijeans.com online, and as well we have 2 locations where we sell our clothes at: Grails Inc. in Castleton Mall and Circle Center Mall. Great friend of mine, LaRon Marshall Calipino, he's the owner of the store. He brought me in, and I've been in this store for maybe two years now, maybe even 3, and he just shows me love, and that's where you can get my clothes locally if you don't want to get it online. Yeah, Grails Inc.
Yeah, and those designs are dope, man. What's inspiring you? Like, what's behind the inspiration from?
Honestly, it's any and everything that I go through. Past events, future, whatever it is, I design my clothes off emotions or things that I've been through in my life, and that's why some of my designs look a little, I want to say, outer space, unique, whatever you want to call it, is different from a lot of local brands or any other brands that you may see. Just because it comes from my head, I haven't seen anything to make me put this on this paper. It's something that I felt and went through. As well as this shirt. The shirt right here, I was a freshman in high school, and this girl named Tallulah. I don't even know where Tallulah's at, but Tallulah, I wrote her a love letter, and she did not dig it. You know what I mean? She was like, nah, I'm straight on that. You know what I mean? And that's why this shirt is called Broken Hearts and Love Letters, and what I said on the shirt, in the letter, is what I put on the shirt. And so this was like a real true story. And a lot of my clothes are based off of, events that I went through. But yeah, I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Most definitely. And Inari, what's the origin of that name? When we think about Inari, I've never heard that before.
Oh, okay, I appreciate it. So Inari is a combination from my wife's first name and my son's first name. So my wife's name is India, and she spells it with the E-E-N, and then my son's name is Kamari, and I just put those together, Inari. And so it stuck with me, and I was like, man, it has a nice ring to it, and it's not like catchy or trendy. So I wanted it to be universal, and the name stuck. Yeah.
It stick with you because you gotta say it.
Thank you.
Practice.
He's not lying though. He's not lying though. That's crazy.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I'm asking my wife, I'm saying it right, baby. I keep replaying your video. I done gave you like an extra 10 views.
Yeah, man.
That's dope, bro. So imagine, think about that. So that's somebody else doing that too. Think about that as a business, bro. Think about that as marketing, though.
Yeah.
Think about that. I kept watching it. I'm trying to see. I'm engaging, and I'm really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
thank you.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah. So when influencers hit me, they would ask, is this how you pronounce the name? And I'm like, yeah. And some people just, ENARI and whatever, which rightfully so, I understand. So I definitely get that a lot, but that's where the name came from. Yeah, my wife and my son.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
Thank
That's
you.
and I resonate with that too. Like that when we talk about lead your lineage, right? I have a business named after my father.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Butch Enterprises.
Okay.
And it stands for Building Unity Through Collective Healing.
So,
and the why behind it was when a older brother, he's probably like in his 40s at the time, back in 2016, he came up to me and said, "Your dad helped me get out of trouble when I was younger."
yeah.
He had that look in his eyes, like, yeah, he was probably talking about like if my dad wasn't there, you probably would have been in jail right now.
Yeah.
It was one of them type of looks. I was like, I felt him.
Yeah.
And that inspired then hanging around cuz. He was like, man, next business you start, you gotta honor your ancestors. With that, I was like, you right, cuz, you right. So I got to probably like a week later or something, I called cuz like, cuz, I got it. I was like, Butch Enterprises. He's like, what that stand for? I was like, I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure it out though. And then probably like a day or two later, I was like, Building Unity Through Collective Healing, man. And then the acronym itself is just B.
Beautiful.
B.
And it makes sense. Something
Absolutely.
that's a necessity is needed. So it's just not a name, it's a meaning behind the name. It's purposeful. So that separates you from a lot of other businesses as well, So I love that name as well.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're gonna be doing something in the future too to be honoring my uncle, his grandfather Tip too. Tipping ain't easy at all. So that's gonna be on the lookout.
I love it.
When Cuz drops some stuff, it's gonna be super dope. Gonna honor Uncle in that, man. So but yeah, I wanted to ask you this, Kevin. Like when we look at clothing and also the family dynamic, right? What does passing down, or in the process too, what does passing down that generational wealth, the business of ENARI, what does that look like passing it down to your children? How many children do you have?
I only have one. My wife and I have one.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay, so when you pass it down to your son, what does that look like in terms of building that generational wealth and leading your lineage in that capacity with your clothing brand?
Good question. So with ENARI, like I said, Kobe passing really, hit me because that was an idol of mine and millions of others.
Me too.
And so when it hit me, I was like, wow. Kobe's not here physically, but everybody felt what Kobe was trying to do. And he left everything for not only his family, but the world. Mamba mentality, the legacy of Kobe, everybody feels it. And so when I created ENARI, we're not going to be here forever, but what you stand for will. And so I wanted to leave something for my wife and my son to live off of, to be a part of. It's nothing that it was not a necessity for it to be a clothing brand, but since I had background in it, I was just like, you know what? My wife, she dresses, she knows what looks good. My son, he knows what looks good. And so let's just go ahead and make this happen. And even when he designs some brands, some styles for me, I pay him for that. So he creates some designs for me. So it's kind of crazy how you go to high school and you see your design on kids, or when you go to the mall, it's like, man, Daddy, I seen somebody wearing my shirt. This is crazy to me, And I just wanted something to leave for my wife and my son whenever I go, or if they decide not to do anything else in the world but just work for ENARI, it's ours. It ain't mine. So it's a family business, and it's very important, man. I'm a big fan of. I wouldn't say a big fan of nepotism, but at the same time, we come in the game with nothing. We don't have no funding, no nothing. So we got to get it out the mud. And when you have this access or this resource or something, you have to pass it down, because nobody wants it hard, but nobody wants it easy. So that's why I think it's the most important thing. You gotta build that generational wealth.
I'm glad you said that, because this like statistically only 3% of family businesses go on to the next generation. And that's across all ethnicities, right? So when we think about the succession planning of going from generation to generation from a business perspective, we got to look at, like you said, it's not mine, it's ours.
Yeah.
When we look at it from that perspective, that's something that we really don't grasp, and specifically in our community.
Yeah.
I know I'm just now wrapping my head around it. I'm 31 years young, so I'm just now getting it. And also with to the point of nepotism too, I'm not a big fan of it too. But like you said, we're starting from with, I don't know what's less than nothing, but it's less than
right.
nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So like with what cousin I do, we do want to hire people, but we said we're going to go against the narrative of like in the community. It's not just our community too. It's all across, like, don't hire your family. But I'm looking at it like, all right, this don't make sense because the people that's running the world are families. Yes. So it's like, is that just a narrative that's being spun to get us away from what that truly is? Because truth be told, our cousins behind producing this right now, helping us with this right now. She wants to start a podcast, so we're like, hey, come in. We're gonna give you hands-on experience because you're gonna need to have somebody doing when you on the camera, on the microphone, you're going to have somebody doing what you're doing for us.
Yeah.
So like, come on and get this experience. She's like, bet. Now she's here. So when we talk about nepotism in the melanated Black community, how do we get that message to people's hearts and heads to make that change?
Honestly, it's case by case.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, if they're your family or not, sometimes you just can't work with the closest people to you. One, some feel obligated. Two, egos. It's very hard, man. Like even with my pops and my mother got me into, you know, wanting to have a clothing line first and foremost. That's where my background came from. But when my father and I try to do a business together, it just doesn't work out. And it's not because of a personal torn relationship. It's just his ideas are different from mine. And so it's hard because you're not going to disrespect a stranger, or you may let a stranger slide because y'all don't have any personal ties, just going about your way. But when you are trying to do business with your family, you literally still got to see them every single day or what. Yep. So you don't want that to tarnish the personal. Yeah. And that's where I'm at with that. So it is a slippery slope, but it's a shame because I only see it in the Black community, and maybe that's because I'm just not around to see the insides of the Caucasians or the Asians or the Latinos or the whatever. Because you have Chinatown, and Chinatown is ran by Chinese families, and everywhere else. But when you see in the Black community, it's like ran down problems. It's such a shame, and I still can't put my finger on it at all. I really can't. I can't. So that's where I'm at with that, though. But it's definitely something that needs to change. Like, here, son, this is for you. And the son might not want it, but he needs to appreciate it and understand it. That, hey, no matter what, they can't fire you from your own business. Period. And that's where I stand at it.
Ooh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
too.
no problem.
I love that perspective. I think we about to add something. When we look at the clothing industry, and this is for you too, look at the clothing industry, right? Why do y'all think that our people value? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. That's why I was like, you want to, hey,
So, you know, one thing, you know, we talk about families not being able to work with each other. You know, man, you know how many times my wife, I work with two family members.
Okay.
I work with my wife, who I done fired. Man, see, I'm I'm cool, but if you do a business with me, I'm a different type of person when I put my passion in stuff. I'm a different type of person. I be warning people before we get into business, like, bro, I do business for real. You know, I fired my wife 100 million times. She'll quit 100 million times, especially at the beginning. At the beginning, it was wild. It was wild, man. It was wild. Man, cuz I be ready to fight, cuz sometimes, man. It's just me though, cause, you know, and I'm glad that they be working with me. They just know, cause I just got that type of passion in me.
Yeah.
I'm just very passionate.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a lot of people don't know. A lot of people, if you look at history, a lot of passionate people, they kind of it's hard to work with them because they very passionate. You know what I mean? You like, God damn, bro, we ain't gotta do this shit 24/7. Calm down. So I brought that up because I wanna know what did you. Because you know, I'm a great business partner. Though. I know how to work with it. But
Absolutely.
what did you do with different with your son that you feel like you learned with your dad? What through that obstacle? Because from what I heard you said right there, I feel like you took your situation and you was like, oh, okay, these are the do's and don'ts, and you applied it to your son. What are those do's and don'ts? Because I got a son that I'm trying to pass my business. What are those do's and don'ts that I need to do?
Okay, so great question, and please hold that thought as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with my wife and my son, and so like how you said, you're very passionate. I am as well, and so I get crazy, and I'm a lunatic. But my wife, and since I'm a creative, it's my mind is always racing, and so she's seen me depressed, she's seen me happy, my highs, my lows, and everything. And my wife helps me with my social media, and so I don't force them to do anything for me right now because it's not needed. But certain tasks, I ask them for advice. What do you think of this? And so I don't put nothing on them right now because I want them to want to work with ENARI and not feel like, hey, this is his dream, but he's pushing it down on us. When it comes to my son, people like, Daddy, I'm in art class. I'm trying to design something. Take a look at it, and then I take a look at it. Was like, all right, this is pretty dope. Let's change this though, and we'll send it to the graphic designer and get it pressed up. And that's where it is because I want him to focus on his dream and his business or whatever he has. His admirations right now because it's not about ENARI when it comes to them. It's what they want to do, and I'm here to help them. And ENARI is just a tool to help fund some things, and if anything happens at the end of the day, ENARI is still something that you can fall back on. So that's what that is. As far as my father, we had a few different things that we tried to do, and it just didn't work out. And it's all love, but once again, my dream is my dream. His dreams is his dreams. And so he has a few different businesses, bus transportation company or whatnot. Him and my sister work together. But that's just something that I didn't want to do. So that's why it didn't work out. I couldn't give you my all because this is not what I want. And that's where I'm at with my wife and son. I don't put nothing on them. If they want to help me, they can. And I ask them for their advice and they give it to me, wholeheartedly and honest. And I love them for that. And that's all I ask for them, from them. Yeah.
No, that's why we're here. I'm glad you asked that question. I learned a lot from that too. I was like, I definitely, when I had children, I definitely want to pass down, whether it be money, assets to my family. So I appreciate y'all for both, for you asking that question, you answering that question.
Yeah.
I received a lot from that. To go back on the thought you told me to hold. Why do y'all, for both of y'all, why do y'all think that our people don't value like our homegrown grassroots brands like they do the upper echelon brands? I'm not gonna say their names. I'm not giving them no free publicity. But I know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all think we value those to the same level that we value those high echelon brands?
You want to go? Honestly, I haven't had that problem. I haven't had that problem, honestly. I took a different route. When I started the brand, I knew the psychology behind it, especially in the black community. And I hate to say it, but when you put it out there and it's on a celebrity or somebody who thinks it has high standard, everybody else is going to follow suit. And so once they seen a few celebrities wearing my clothes, this might be legit. If he can wear it, if they can wear it, then it must be, top notch. And there were some people who seen it and supported just because it was me and the quality was good. But I went outside instead of inside first. And that's just because I want people to know, hey, I don't have to pay any influencers to wear my clothes because it'll speak for itself. So when they seen Jeremiah wearing this video, or Lance Stevenson wear it, or Tyrese Halliburton, Sharif Cooper, George Hill, uh, and many others, when they seen that, they was like, well, KJ really taking his time with it, and he's doing something different from what local brands are doing. And nothing wrong with the way that they're doing it. I just had a outlet, and I had resources that I can, relationships that I can, hey, bro, try this on, see if you like it, and if you like it, wear it. And that's what happened. A few times though, with this, with the local brands, we're not sure of ourselves, and we don't handle the business like how it should be. And it's bigger than just putting a name on a shirt and putting it out there. You got to do marketing. The quality has to be good. You have to have great customer service. You got to be serious about it. You got to have some sweat equity. You got to lose money in it, because if they don't feel like you're serious, they're not going to take you serious. There's no way that you are going to charge me $100 for a T-shirt and your tag's not even in your shirt, and want somebody to support you. So with that being said, local brands just need to continue to work. If it's dope, people are going to buy it. And that's just all you can think about. It's just one of those things. It's not just in that, it's in a lot of places.
Absolutely.
And I just do the work, and everything else will take care of itself. And I got a lot of support, and that's why my clothes are in the stores, and that's why I have an online store, and I do okay, but I could do better, you know. So I think that once we get serious about it, everybody else will get serious about it, about supporting us. Yeah, that's how I see it.
I 100% agree with everything he said. 100% right. For real,
I love that.
Because
Yeah.
because with my clothing line, I was the original people. My logo means something. My name means something. So it's catchy. So it was like he said. My first pop up shop. I was surprised that people was like the idea, because the original people, what we stand for. I had a pitch before I pitched it out. So I mean, and to be honest, a lot of times what I feel like it is, like a lot of people go, I'm chase the money. I'm gonna start a clothing line to make some money, or whatever you start to make some money. Our podcast and my clothing line came about before information came about, before my business came. It was meanings, it was reasons, it was driven emotionally.
Yeah.
It was driven by the knowledge I was gaining, and it was driven by the destiny that I was to live by.
Yeah.
So when I open up those progress, like our podcast is growing, my clothing line, I already made enough money to do everything I've been doing so far. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rebranding already. A lot of businesses take forever to rebrand. Like, so I feel like it's just really because I had a passion first. I had like I always tell people, original people came about because I wanted to give people knowledge, and I got tired of being called a nigga. I got tired of I'm like, damn, man. And I figured out that we've been here way longer than any other race. I'm like, damn, we're the original people. I just kept calling myself
Love
that.
it.
Then one day I was like, damn, put that on a shirt, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how do black folks, I kept trying to tell people to call me that. I'm like, how do black folks listen to you more? I just kept thinking of shit. I'm like, man, damn, if I start putting that on a shirt, let me see how this roll. I put it on a shirt, and man, the first people who start buying it, man, believe it or not, was like
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
So.
And they spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. You gotta have a passion. You can't just be getting on the boat. When you get on that boat, bro, that boat, you gotta have the ticket for it because you was destined for it.
Yeah. You chase the money, and when you chase the money, it doesn't really hit as much. I'm not chasing money. If I can have one job and not get paid for it, it would literally be this. I definitely don't chase the money, and I definitely don't chase anyone else's um, tail or whatever. I just do me, and that has given me so much peace. And I know in the age of social media, you look on there and you see this person doing this, and that, and you think that's where you're supposed to be. In all actuality, like, you need to only run your race.
Yep.
And that's where I'm at. Sometimes I get in my head thinking that I'm behind, and I'm like, well, I'm not behind because I'm not on the clock for anything. It's just like I do what I do, and that's where my brand um, has really gained success because I take my time with my clothes and my designs and the things that I try to do. And sometimes when I did rush, it didn't hit, and that was like a smack on the hand. Continue to do what you do. Don't get out of it, straight up. So that's where it's at with that. But there's a lot of dope local brands, man. They're just starting to get better. That's all it is. Not the fact that they aren't getting support. It's the fact that their lack of knowledge and lack of resources. So they're on the grassroots right now, but they're gradually getting better and better. We all are. Like when I say I'm comparing us to like Gucci and Tom Ford and them, so we're down here as far as the eyes of the world, but it's a never ending story, or journey.
I want to get into family.
I was about to get into it too. I love it.
I
love it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because we cousins.
Absolutely. Co-host the cousins. Co-host the cousins.
Let me throw this in here real quick.
Go ahead, please.
Before I get into family, so we got a form that we normally fill out. We send our guests, man, and man, we be asking people their recommendations. Who we should get on here. Man, I read it, man, because I'm looking. I'm like, damn, man. I was skimming through it. It said Rob. It said my cousin name. And I'm like, dang, man. Is he talking about the same? My cousin.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I saw one on your Instagram. Stalked you like I said I was doing. I saw
we friends. Yeah.
He talking about my cousin. So I was like, man, yeah, he talking about my cousin, man.
Yeah.
So, what I mean?
6 degrees of separation, man. I think everybody knows somebody.
Absolutely.
That's wild, man. Cause we knew your sister and you knew our cousin. And like, connect, man.
Yeah.
So it's like I always feel like everything is a purpose. Man.
Yeah, most definitely is.
So it's definitely a purpose, man. But since we're talking about family, how was it growing up, man? How was it growing up with you? Growing up, with your family, and how was your childhood?
A great question, and appreciate for asking that. My childhood was mainly about basketball. My father, he was a basketball coach, Division I colleges, so we did a lot of moving around, but I always stayed in the gym. My brother, sister, and I, and so we grew up playing basketball. Now, I can't say that we were going to Disneyland or doing all the family fun trips. It was basketball driven, and that's what we really grew up on. And so my wife and son kind of tease me because the things that I find joy in now is because I didn't do them when we were younger. And it's not the fact that we were, brought up in the trenches or anything like that. It was just like we just focused on basketball. And as I got older, basketball was, college scholarship. I was able to get a college scholarship. I did well in high school as far as college basketball. A lot of my relationships because of basketball. But growing up in the house, it was fun, honestly. Outside, we from 46 in Arlington and Shaylin in that area, And so we lived in Illinois, Macomb, Illinois, and we seen a lot of basketball, man. A lot of basketball. And my father and mother did the best that they could to raise us. I mean, I'm 40. Yeah. And so we just grew up in a basketball oriented family, and that's what really funded everything, in our family. My sister, she ran track. I guess you could say she was I wouldn't say the black sheep, but she didn't get a lot of love as far as the sports because my brother and I were like, the ones to see. My sister was a beast on the court as far as rebounding. She was like Dennis Rodman, and it's just
Shout out to Kenyata.
yeah, it's just one of those things that you raise a family the best way you know. But it wasn't traumatizing or anything like that. It was just focal point on basketball, but really didn't get to know about life, and how to run a business, or what are you going to do after basketball? What other talents do you have? What is going to happen if basketball doesn't work? And so that's what I felt like I was lacking when I got older. Because when basketball started, I was like, what am I about to do? Like I don't have any other skills for real. I don't think I don't believe I have, because this is not the conversation that I had. I didn't have conversations about how to pay bills or taxes or how to buy a house or anything. And I know I'm not the only family that the person that went through that with their family. It was just never talked about because we were so taken care of, and it was like we weren't thinking about the future. We were just thinking about the now. And I think that's what we lacked in our family, but it turned out great. But we had to learn later in life. Yeah.
What school did you go to play basketball?
So I went to Arlington my freshman year. Sophomore year, I went to Lawrence Central. Junior year is Lawrence Central. Senior year, I went to a boarding school in Nicetown, Indiana. Then I went back to Arlington High School. And then I went to a prep school out in Virginia Beach. So I went to high school for 5 years. And I transferred a lot because of basketball. Even my brother transferred every single year he was in school, from middle school to college, and just because of basketball. And basketball ran our lives, but that's where I went to high school and then graduated from Chicago State University.
Okay, Chicago State. Okay.
How long you been married? How you met your wife, man?
I've been married for
Been that long?
6 years. I think it's 6 years or 7 years. Don't kill me. But I've been with my wife for like 23 years. I've been with her since 2001. Yeah, 2001, something like that. 2001. It was a pep rally out of Arlington High School. I was with my homeboy Brenton Darden, and I was walking out, and I seen this girl. I said, "Man, who is that?" I said, "I got to get her." So she ran on a bus though, and then the very next day I seen her, and I said, "Hey, I need you to be my girlfriend." So that's what it was, and she's been locked in ever since. And that's exactly how that conversation went. You don't know me, I'm KJ. I'm the big dog around here. I'm the man. I need you to be my girlfriend, and so she's been locked in forever. And that's my dog, man. That's my dog, India. Yeah, yeah. Marriage is cool. She's a realist. I'm more of a optimist, but she's the anchor. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. When we talk about, well, thank you for sharing that too.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, very important backstory to the evolution of ENARI. Because half of the name is your wife.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean? And the half is really a whole, because if you weren't able to experience the oneness with her, ENARI wouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like ENARI, that she's the foundation of ENARI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's major.
Yeah. Appreciate
That's major.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. I want to ask you too, when we think about, because our whole mission is ending generational dysfunction for our families, right? What is your family's biggest generational dysfunction or greatest generation dysfunction that you're working on to end?
So as far as my family, not my son and wife, my mother, father, sister, brother, I think our biggest problem, and I hate to say it because it doesn't sound like a problem, but we're so dependent on one another. And my mother is so open to helping her kids, rightfully so, which who wouldn't? But it's that coddling, it's that, I don't want to say hold accountability, but my family is so dependent on one another. It's like, if I don't decide to, see y'all or ask you for anything, it's okay. It's okay because I have to learn my way. And you can't keep giving me and allowing me to do something that I shouldn't be doing or whatnot. And I think that's the biggest one, is the dependency on one another. Yeah, we're a whole family, but it's okay to be separate, and we don't have to codependent on each other. And that is probably our biggest flaw. And it's not even a flaw because it's always good to depend on somebody. So it's kind of weird, but then again, if you were there, you would understand. But I definitely appreciate them. I just think that we find ourselves lacking individuality because of that, and that's not always good. That's not always good. And so I try to, build that barrier and those boundaries when it comes to families, because it's okay to have boundaries within your family. Nothing is wrong with that. My family is my family. You're my family, but you do you over there. And that's all it is. I think another issue was we weren't taught about real life after whatever dreams that didn't come forth. I think that was a bigger issue as well. Just didn't know life. And a lot of my friends started getting jobs in high school. And I was like, man, they get money in high school. They working, as soon as they get out of high school. Outside looking in, it sucks to have a job at 18. You got to go to work all the time, but not knowing you're getting paid. And you probably don't have any bills right now because you're still staying with your folks. So I didn't have a job till I was like 23, 24 on summertime, and that's just what it was. But I didn't learn that real life will hit you until later on. And I don't want to fault them for that, because all they were doing, like, live your life because you're going to be working forever. Live your life because you're going to be working forever. But it kind of hurt me in the long run when I was trying to find my way and raising my family and taking care of my responsibilities. So it was a few things, but it was, I don't want to say it wasn't major, because it kind of was, but they was just doing it out of love. Yeah.
Absolutely not. I wholeheartedly resonate with the story of overly identifying with being an athlete too.
Mm-hmm.
So I did track and field in college at Indiana State, and I was getting recruited to go to a couple of small schools to go play football, but they were private schools. I was a 21st century scholar, so I was like, okay, go public institution, private institution. We go this public route because it's gonna be less expensive, right?
Yeah.
But looking back on it now, I'm literally probably about $50,000 in debt. $40,000 of that that is me wanting to be a student athlete, so I stayed on campus.
Okay.
So I didn't have a car, so I can just walk to practice.
Yeah.
So I could have easily went to college, got a job, built my class schedule around that job, and everything would have been copacetic.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking like that because I wanted to be an athlete so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So instead of that 10,000, I got 50 with all the interest and all that. So it's really about 40, but it's 50 now with all the interest and all that. So thinking of overly identifying with being an athlete, the question is for the young people that are coming up in sports now, what advice would you give to the young people that are going down that same path you and I went down with being like, I'm an athlete, ride or die athlete, right? But then, like you said, life gonna hit you a little bit later in life. In your mid 20s, it's gonna hit you. What are some things you can give them advice on in terms of navigating that pathway?
Learn a trade. Learn a trade, learn a skill outside of basketball. One of my best friends, he said, bro, there's people who literally got up 6 a.m. every day to train in basketball and did not make it. There's millions that did not make it. What are you going to do afterwards? And so I know that these kids are so driven by social media and the NIL deals and how school is right now. But man, split second, it is over with. And I preached to my son, my wife and I were like, hey, Mari, what are your plans after basketball? Because he's been a scholar, you know, since he started school. Like I never had to worry about him in the grades, and I greatly appreciate him for that because he's definitely hit those books. But he does need to know that one day is going to end. Yeah, you may make it into the NBA, play overseas, but even after that, what knowledge do you have? What skills do you have outside of that can feed yourself, you know, and feed your family whenever you start to have one? So most importantly, don't put yourself in a box. Don't limit yourself. And I felt like we were limited on a lot of things because we were just focused on basketball. And we were very, very good, did what we were supposed to do, still didn't make it. It is what it is. But now let's learn some different type of skills because you may not have unlocked a skill that you never thought you had. And that's all it is. I want these kids to understand that, man, there's so much in the world to do. You can be successful at anything that you really want to do. The impossible is not impossible anymore. And so if they want to become a rapper, they have resources to do it, artists, clothing, fashion, it's so much to do. Just focus, be multifaceted. That's all I'm saying. Don't put yourself in a box because that's when it gets dangerous.
Great. And I'm gonna ask this question, switch it up here. Where do you see your family in the next 10 years?
The next 10 years, man, I know it's gonna be somewhere in a hot climate. A pool and no bigger than a 3-bedroom condo or a home. You know, very, very small. Less is best for us. You know, less is best. More of life, not materials, but just the things that are priceless. Beaches, just quality time with each other. I know that everybody wants to have a Beamer, Benz, a Bentley, or whatnot, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm from the East Side, so to be from the East Side is to be flashy. You want a bankroll, you want to look nice. But man, the older you get, the less bills you want, the less trouble you want. You just want to live a peaceful life. Honestly, in 10 years, hopefully I'll be on, you know, courtside watching my son hoop, you know, in his 6th year in the NBA. But if that don't happen, be watching my nieces and nephews doing their thing. I just want to be at peace and happy with my setting that I created for myself and my family.
I feel you, man.
That's real, man.
I know. I guess, man. I'm only 30, but man, it seems like the older I'm getting, it's like that's what I be want. I just want peace. I got 3 kids right now, man. I ain't get no peace. I got 3 babies. I got 3 babies though. See, my baby's only 5,
Oh, okay.
3, and 6 months. So man, lately I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
But that's what my wife and I enjoy the most. Kenyata, her daughters, they come over and they are a handful. Also, my brother's daughter is a handful. So we're just, Uncle Kevin and Auntie India, so they come over. We ordering pizza. We take them to the pool when it's summertime, and that's our enjoyment. The the bad nieces and nephews. So we enjoy that, and that's all we strive to have is fun filled time with the nieces and nephews and stuff like that. So man, just as long as your bills are paid and you're not stressing, I think that's success for us, and that's what I want to be like in 10 years, and further on.
What school your son go to?
He's at Western Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, Western Carolina.
I love that. What year is he?
He'll be sophomore. Yep, he was a redshirt freshman, so he'll be a sophomore this year.
That's what's up. What's up. Well, we might have to pull up on him.
He's impressive. He's impressive, man. They beat Notre Dame this year. They beat Vanderbilt. They had a great season. They had a great season, and watching them play is just something that my wife and I want to do.
That's dope.
Yeah, take my son to the game anyway. It'd be a perfect thing to do.
Yeah, well, seriously, he's psyched to see, man. I can't lie. I'm definitely proud of him. He went to Lawrence Central, did well, then played in OTE down in Atlanta, prep school in Arizona. He's traveled a little bit and he's grown. I appreciate him, man. It's just crazy to see your son become 18, and the older I get, the softer I get on him. It's just like, man, this is this is crazy. Like my son in college, like I just look at his Instagram and like, man, this boy is in college, man. I got a son in college. Like I'm really cool. I won actually. That's how I see it. Especially coming from the east side, man. To have your kid go to school and live out his dreams is just like the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And as we conclude the episode, man, when Cousin and I, we speak a lot. We always say, man, this is like therapy for us. You know what I mean? And when him and I get on here, especially when it's just him and I, having our episodes, it's like therapy to us. So what is a form of therapy? And we'll have you close it out after you answer this question. What is a form of therapy for you? How do you get your time for Kevin to be able to get back to the space you need to be so you can be the man you need to be for your family?
Honestly, it's designing. It is therapeutic for me. It allows me a chance to really express how I'm feeling at that moment. It gives me that free range, and I can't be judged for it. And even if I am judged for it, it is my true feelings. And so when I'm, drawing out something, I get to express how I'm really feeling. So designing and creating a new piece or shirt or whatnot, that is my therapy. Also, I like to watch. I was born in the '80s, but I just love '80s genre of movies. That's just me. My wife trips out because she was like, "I never heard of this movie. Why are you watching this old movie?" That is my piece. Yeah, that is my piece. So that's what I do.
I'm a movie head too.
Yeah, that's what I do, and that is my therapy, man. And the older I get, I need a warmer climate, and so when it's nice outside, your problems go away. For a moment, go away, and that is therapeutic, son, for me. But the whole just creating the brand, man. That is my let me zone out moment. Yeah, that is therapy for me.
I love that, man. I hope that was valuable to the audience too. Just want hearing another brother's perspective on how you just go back to yourself. How you get back to yourself when you feel like you're getting away and you need some time. Because the world's out, like we step out into the world as men, and the world wants all of our attention, right? We really don't have that time to really just be. And then we hear that from a lot of brothers. Like, yo, you gotta find that time.
Definitely.
So just thank you for sharing that. And hopefully
no problem.
A brother or a sister can get inspired by just hearing what you just shared, sharing your testimony, sharing your truth. So in closing, I want you to leave us with a word of wisdom that you've learned along your journey that can help us and our audience. And then let the people know where we can find you and rock with you at.
It sounds cliche, but run your own race. Run your own race. Run your own race and be true to yourself. In today's age, we are so pressured with what social media looks like and what other people are doing, and we feel like we are not equal. And man, we are gonna be buried one day. We're going to the same place. It's like live your life. Run your own race. That's probably the best advice that I can tell anyone, man. Your path is your path. Your life has already been written out. You're just literally walking through destiny. Simple as that. So run your own race, live your life, be true to yourself. At ENARI Jeans at Instagram, at ENARI Jeans on TikTok, www.enarijeans.com, Grills Inc., Castleton Square Mall, and Circle Center Mall, downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, East Side.
There it is. Ain't no better way to end it like that. You got anything you want to add, cuz?
Man, and anybody that looking for a gift, man, want to buy me a gift, man. Some shirts.
Don't forget about me too. You know what I mean? Hey, y'all see it. Look out, you feel me?
Yeah. We got cousin in the back, which I can't see. You got to hook up my cousin too. Family thing. And I appreciate y'all for leading the lineage.
Absolutely. Well, family, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Lead Your Lineage podcast. Now, we always love to say, lead yourself so you can lead your lineage. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. There it is.